What's up guys, my name is Zero Heroes and welcome back to more World of Tanks, and today we have the honour of Sergeant Bash 00, yup, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, in the T-54 lightweight, the tier 9 Russian medium tank on, what map are we on Prokhorovka, on a standard battle. Now I have to formally admit, just straight out of the blue, this is probably one of my most hated maps. I absolutely hate it. And oh my god, it is just, hold on, I just realised I need to turn up the volume a wee bit so you guys can actually hear the sounds coming out this game. Let's just turn up just a wee bit. Oh, that's too loud. There we go. So yeah, so this has to be one of my most hated maps ever, just for the fact that this map is meant to be for light tanks. Like, you could put 15 versus 15 light tanks on this map and it'd be perfect for it. I don't see why Wargaming have to put other tanks. This map is mostly just for light tanks, and that's about it, and for camping TDs. So that is kind of out. That's kind of my rant over. But today, yeah, we are going to be showing, well, I'm going to be showing you what a Russian light tank can do in a very good map with some very good equipment and crew, and basically a high skill level cap, basically on what you have to do on how to be a good light tank. And well, there's example number one. There, he's sitting in a bush right now, not shooting, and he's just waiting for the allies to shoot them. But of course, no shots have come in. But oh, there we go. Now they're starting to rack in. The first shots come on the Centurion Action 10. But this is what you have to do mainly in your light tanks. You have to be cautious, well, especially in your your tracked tank, should I say, because now we have wheeled light tanks in the game. You have to be aggressive with those tanks, but with these with tracked kind of tanks like the T-54 lightweight, the T-49, you have to be passive scouting. But you can still be aggressive. You can still do aggressive scouting in a tank like this, but it's not advised, just because the fact that you can't zoom at like 80 kilometers per hour like a wheeled light tank. So definitely something to be cautious of. But unfortunately, that's the first hit of the game that Sergeant Bash would take. Now, Sergeant Bash did actually send in 3 replays to me, and I really wanted to watch the one that he had an IKV replay on, but unfortunately, because the game updated this morning, because Wargaming keep updating their games, I couldn't actually watch the replay. So I am sorry, but that is one of the replays I did really want to watch. But this was one of the replays that was kind of in the kind of main update, or kind of up to date. So I am sorry, Sergeant Bash, if this wasn't maybe one of the ones you wanted to see today. But hopefully I'm hoping it's still as good as the IKV replay. So as you can see, that Sergeant Bash is already up to 1,000 spotting, or over 1,000 spotting right now, and that's about to go up to 2,000 roughly, or almost 1,950. But this, and he's also just platooned up with some random, the artillery player. Now this is what you should generally be doing in your light tanks. This is what you should be doing, is that you should be scouting, passive scouting. You can still do scouting in this tank, but kind of go up on the map where you can get a decent vantage point where you can actually see the enemy team, like Sergeant Bash has done. And if you can do that, then your team won't be swearing at you every 2 seconds in chat. So, and this is what he does really well. The artillery, his teammate, the artillery, he maps out, or he puts a notification down saying that he's gonna RT the E75, as he does, and the artillery puts it in with a nice shot there, and he kind of avoids the artillery shot at the allied, so he wouldn't get stunned himself. So very, very good teamwork, a wee bit of teamwork there. I know, again, very rare you see it. But and also your Leo replay, I would feature that, but I've already done a Leo replay on the last video. So if you haven't checked that out, then make sure you go check it out. That Leo teamwork replay, which was very good. And now Sergeant Bash is already up to 3,000 spotting. Now I know you guys have seen a lot better maybe scouting replays in this, but the reason I chose this was because that you can still do aggressive scouting in kind of like aggressive passive scouting in a tank like this, because basically the T-54 lightweight is a knockoff version of the T-54, the Russian tier 9 medium tank, and it has actually, because all the Russians are actually tier 7 and above, really. No, is it tier 8? Sorry. From the LTTB and above, you actually have some decent armor on it. I don't know. I think it's because you can see that the hull shape is very much the same as the T-54, but of course Wargaming have nerfed it, so it has, I think, maybe 75 millimeters of armor. I think. Don't quote me on that, but I think just top of my head. But this tank is still very good because, I mean, what makes up for it? I mean, it has very kind of poor penetrate. Oh no, I didn't mean that. Oh no. Sorry. So for its normal APCR rounds, it has only 208 millimeters of penetration, which is quite lacklustering at tier 9. I feel like it should be maybe at least maybe 212 or something, or a wee bit more, because it is at tier 9, and you are facing tier 10 tanks like the Mouse, like the E100, and such as the Progetto 65, where you will need that penetration. But I guess it makes up for it for having the APCR standard round, which gives it a nice shell velocity on the tank. I don't know how much, but I know APCR does usually have good shell velocity. So, and it's APCR rounds. If you do need to dig into that APCR rounds, you do have 235. Again, it's not great for tier 9. I feel like there's a lot better tanks that you could do, such as maybe the T49 with not the derp gun, with the kind of, is it the 90 millimeter, I think, on that gun. I think that thing actually has a lot better penetration than the T-54 lightweight, because I know this is 100 millimeter. I know you've got different calibers of the between the T-54 lightweight and the T-49, but I think Wargaming could give this tank a wee penetration buff, to be honest, because it's just very lackluster, and you're not going to penetrate much at, maybe you might struggle. You're going to struggle against your E75s maybe at long range, and you're just, it's not good. You definitely need to get this tank up front in action where you can actually get your shots in, and of course there's that Russian Stalin armor with that blocking there. But you can troll with the armor. You can, again, the Russian light tank line, you do have some decent armor. Once you get that to the tier 10, the T100 LT, you have actually some good decent armor. I think you have maybe, I think 100 millimeters of effective armor, I think even more, but it's really, really nice. And you can see that, of course, the gun depression does also lack on this gun, with the Sergeant Bash trying to shoot the PTA, but of course that Russian gun depression never always works. But there we go, and we are almost finished there with a nice clean win for Sergeant Bash and his team with his artillery. There is no kills, but of course there you go, Sergeant Bash trying to go for the tracks there. I don't know if he did, but he got some nice spotting there, and that is it. There you go, ladies and gentlemen, that is Sergeant Bash 00 in the T-54 lightweight, and probably one of the most favourable maps that a light tank could have in Prokhorovka. So there we go, guys. That is it for this video. It's, well, 7,000 spotting and 2,530 damage done, which combines it to roughly about 9k combined. If I just top of my head, if I can do it. I'm not very good at maths, but you know, who cares? You don't need maths for World of Tanks. Anyway, let's go to results and see how well he did. Okay guys, so here we go. So of course he got an ace tanker. For that, he got a Confederate medal as well, and he got a patrol duty for that 7,000 spotting, and of course he got that Confederate for hit more enemy vehicles than any other player on your team at least 6 times, or at least 6. And of course he didn't get top of his damage, but he still did pretty nice. He got top of experience with 1,360, and got a nice damage of 2,530, and that 8,983 the damage upon detecting, which is really, really nice for a light tank. Of course, there are, I'm sure you guys have seen better, or if you haven't seen better, 12k combined of Prokhorov gets 12k combined. Oh, because the 8k, yeah, sorry, 12k combined. There you go. He did the Sergeant Bash did the math for me there. So there we go. That is the T54 lightweight on Prokhorovka on, because it's one of the most favourable maps for a light tank, and it just shows that if you can get a player in good hands of a light tank on a favourable map, you can get results like this. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That'll be it for this video. I hope you did enjoy this, and I hope you all are enjoying your Friday. And yes, we are close to the weekend, so I hope you do enjoy your weekend too. And yeah, I just like to say thank you so much for watching. And also, if you do have a replay for me, and you want to send it in, make sure you go send it to my Gmail, which I will link in the description down below, or you can just put Zero Heroes in the name of the World of Tanks replay, and I will look for your replay there. So other than that, I'd just like to say thank you so much, guys, for watching and all your support, and I will see you in the next video. See you later, and goodbye.